Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the channel. My name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. Today, I want to do something a little bit different. You guys know that in the beginning of this channel, I used to create many podcast style videos. So this is going to be a podcast where we talk about soul ties. Now, the reason I'm doing this right now is not random. It's because I've been sensing that collectively many soul ties have been activating. And I know that for many of you listening, especially if you were drawn to the title of this video, which is going to be something along the lines of signs a soul tie has been activated that will make you feel like you're losing your mind. Well, as the title suggests, for many of you, you may be experiencing the activation of a soul tie that is actually making you feel as though you're going crazy. The thing is, you're not going crazy. You're actually just very intuitive. And society generally really misunderstands people who are highly sensitive, people who are very spiritually attuned. Because when you are someone who is spiritually attuned and you meet or connect with another person, with a soul with whom you have an underlying energetic connection that I'm going to call a soul tie here, and when that soul tie gets activated through that conscious moment of either, there's so much we could talk about here. There are many ways soul ties can be activated. And let's just start at the beginning by saying there's a reason I titled this video Signs a Soul Tie Has Been Activated rather than Signs of a Soul Tie, because the key point here is the reason you're feeling this way is because it's been activated, not just because it exists. Because in actuality, we have potential soul ties with many, 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 many different individuals all over the planet. And when I say soul tie, I guess we keep walking it back a little bit, but let's go back to kind of defining what I mean by a soul tie in this context. I know that people use different words to describe different things. When I say soul tie, I mean it in a very general sense that you have some kind of underlying spiritual connection with a person, and that connection serves some particular purpose in this lifetime. So some people would consider this a fated meeting. They might consider this being in each other's soul contract, having a soul contract, being a part of each other's soul blueprint. However you want to say it, you are here to play some kind of role in each other's lives. And there is an underlying spiritual connection between the two of you. And your souls on some level have agreed to share, exchange, or do something for each other in this lifetime. Now, this could be as simple as, let's say, making eye contact with someone, and in that moment, it gives you butterflies or awakens some excitement or some emotion within you. That could be the entire purpose of some of these soul tie connections, simply to remind you that you can feel something that maybe you forgot that you could feel or that you've never felt before, maybe to make you feel seen even just for a millisecond or a moment. In other cases, the contract, so to speak, could be a conversation. This is where sometimes you feel this really strong pull to talk to a stranger, and it turns out that something about that conversation inspires you or alters the trajectory of your life in a positive way, even if you never see that person again. And of course, some soul ties run much longer. So you may actually be meant to be in each other's lives really consistently, but not all soul ties are romantic. They can be platonic. These can be work opportunities. These can be really any form of connection. Again, we think of these kind of soul type connections in a romantic light very often. And yes, they very well can be romantic as well. And I know that if you're listening to this, for many of you listening, you are dealing with a romantic soul tie. So we may get into that more specifically in this video or a future video. but many soul ties are completely non-romantic as well. So the thing about being very intuitive and empathic, as I'm sure you are if you've been drawn to this type of content and you've been listening to this video so far and you're still here, you are most likely someone who is very spiritually attuned. And so the thing about this is soul ties actually hit you harder than the average person because you're more aware of them. So when I say a soul tie has been activated, what I mean is the terms of that contract have come online. It's almost like your higher self, your spirit guides, the divine, God, the universe, whatever divine forces you personally connect with, have given that connection the green light and are saying, yes, it's time for the two of you to cross paths. It's time for the terms of this soul contract to be initiated. It's time for you to meet. And when a soul contract gets activated or a soul tie, you feel the push. I mean, you both technically receive the push energetically and spiritually to do or to connect in whatever way you were meant to connect, that you agreed to connect on a soul level. However, when you are the more intuitive or spiritually aware one in the bond, as you probably are listening to this video, you feel that push more strongly than the other person, which is why it tends to affect you. The word ungrounding is coming out, a major sign, and we will get into specific signs of a soul tie being activated that will make you feel like you're losing your mind. But a specific sign right away is that you will feel ungrounded. In fact, we could just make this sign number one being something about this interaction derails you from your norm, from your normal. And it doesn't have to be an interaction. Again, it could be just seeing someone or being in the same vicinity as someone. When the soul tie hits, as they say, when that soul tie gets activated, it will derail you from whatever you were doing, wherever you were going, whatever your original intention was. And you may even have the tendency to kind of beat yourself up for this, to say, why am I letting this person pull me out of my center? Why am I letting them unground me or kind of derail me from my original intent? This isn't because you're going crazy. It's not because something is going wrong here. It's because you are spiritually attuned to the fact that there is something meaningful you are meant to share with this person. And so it naturally pulls you off your center or kind of pulls you away from maybe what you were doing, what you were going to do, what you were in the middle of. It may feel very distracting. In fact, I will say, in addition to being ungrounding or kind of like derailing you from whatever you were doing, sign number two, a soul tie has been activated, is it will make you feel distracted. And it can feel very all-consuming in a strange way, almost as though suddenly no one exists but you and that person, and you feel this determination or this restlessness to connect with them, which I know we're kind of going to be bouncing around here between the signs, but that really could be sign number three, which is you feel restless. Your spirit, not just you, it's your literal spirit that feels restless to meet this person. I'm hearing just to know their name. And that's often exactly how it feels. It sounds strange, but you'll find yourself saying, I just want to know their name. I just want to know who this person is in this lifetime, in the physical realm, because on a soul level, you've most likely known them from other past lifetimes. Which leads me into sign number four, which is when the soul tie activates, this person will start seeming very familiar to you. And that will nag at you, almost like, where have I seen this person before? You will get very strong feelings of deja vu around this person. Sign number five is you will experience signs and synchronicities around them. You will, in some cases, experience number signs, once you meet them or know their name, you may see their name everywhere. You may cross paths with each other. And really that leads me to, I believe we're on sign number 6. I didn't write these down in advance. I do have notes, but I didn't know exactly what order I was going to put these signs in. We've just kind of been going with the flow of it. But I think we're on sign number 6, which is the universe will continuously make your paths cross. The universe will make you orbit each other in a sense. They will, I keep saying they, I guess maybe we could also think of this as like your spirit teams, like your personal spirit guides will push the two of you together in such a way that your paths will keep crossing, and it will feel uncanny. Sometimes your paths will even cross outside of the usual place that you might see the other person. For example, if you always see this person at the gym, when your soul tie activates, you might actually start seeing them at the store or at a restaurant or out and about town. So sign number 7 is you will feel an energetic high after encountering them. Even the briefest of interactions with them can leave you feeling euphoric, energized, or weightless. You walk out of their orbit feeling like you're glowing, even if you never spoke. It's almost like there is this literal energetic afterglow about you. And this is because you're sensing the exchange of energy between yourself and that person. But then I will say with sign number 8, on the other side of this equation, this can have a come down. This is where you really might start feeling like you're sort of losing your mind, because not only will you have those energetic highs while you're exchanging energy with them and after you meet them or interact with them, but you can actually feel a come down from that, or a low from being disconnected from them, being away from them. Or if you're, for example, expecting to see them and you don't see them, or hoping to meet them and you don't meet them yet, this can feel so deeply disappointing to your soul in a way that feels disproportionate to your conscious mind. Your logical mind will be thinking, why is this affecting me so much? Why am I feeling so sad or so disappointed about not meeting this person or not connecting with them or getting to have a conversation with them? It's because you recognize that your soul has something to exchange with them, that some kind of soul tie has been activated between the two of you. And because you are so intuitive, you're feeling yourself spiritually pushed into the initiation of whatever that contract is. Sign, I believe we're on 8. As you can tell, I'm going to kind of lose track of my place a little bit here, but I love just kind of going with the flow of these signs. I do apologize if I miss or repeat a number, but let's call it 8. Sign number 8 is very often you have either a premonition, like a sense within you that you're going to meet this person before you meet them, or you may dream about them, or at least dream of like the essence of them, or have some kind of like vision of them. You may just have like this sense that something is about to happen, or that you're about to meet someone important, and you may not really be able to explain it. But on the extreme end of this, you could actually have a specific dream where you meet that actual person in spirit form in your dreams in advance of your meeting. This is almost a form of energetic and spiritual preparation. Now, keep in mind with all of these signs, by the way, I should have said this at the beginning, but you don't have to experience all of these signs to know that you're in a soul tie. In fact, I would say if even more than a few of these signs, or half, especially if up to half of the signs are connecting, it is very likely that you are experiencing a soul tie activating. Because I also do need to note here that we all do tend to experience energy slightly differently. So don't worry if this isn't exactly what's happening for you. The way you personally experience the activation of a soul tie may just look different from another person. But sign number 9 is you feel attuned to and almost sensitive to their energy, their movements. You pick up on the most subtle shifts about them, whether they're near, whether they're leaving a space, entering a space, looking at you, or even just focused on you. That's the thing about this level of attunement. You will feel quite literally telepathic to this person. I mean, maybe not in the literal sense where you're like hearing their thoughts in your mind, but you will definitely feel very attuned to the subtlest like movements, expressions, vocal tone shifts and just shifts generally about this person. You will feel very in tune with all of that without really being able to fully understand why. Now, I know that for some of you, you are empaths, so you are very attuned to people generally, even strangers, but know that when a soul tie activates, it will be like empathy to the greatest degree. It will be extremely amplified, where it quite literally feels as though you know, almost like I'm hearing about this person's past. You may have a feeling like you know what they've gone through. You know what their personality is going to be like. You may know what their sense of humor is going to be like. That really leads me to sign, again, I think we're on number 10, which would be that you know things about them in advance without knowing why you know those things. And when you actually meet this person, those things are confirmed to you. And that confirmation is really important because, of course, that is what really clarifies that you're not going crazy. I mean, as though I haven't emphasized that enough, because you're not. You really are just spiritually attuned here. But you will have it confirmed to you when you notice with this person that the things you suspected about them in advance turned out to be true. Now, these may not be specific things. It may be like in general, you know, there's someone who is kind or generous or sensitive or who has been through past trauma, whatever it is. When it comes to these soul tie activations, you just simply know things about this other person, almost like you're being given a rundown energetically and spiritually on like what you need to know about them before meeting them in order to enact whatever this soul contract is, even without really knowing why. It's like any empathic abilities, any psychic abilities, anything of that nature will be absolutely amplified in this person's presence. Now, speaking of being in this person's presence, sign 11 is when you are around this person, the best way I can describe it is the air will feel like it is electrifying. There will be this electric energy between you that almost feels like the energy before a storm. And this is different than physical chemistry because, again, not all of these types of connections are physically romantic or like sensual in nature necessarily. This will feel, again, different from physical romantic chemistry. Although it could be romantic for you in some cases, this will be a feeling like the air between you is charged. That's the best way I can describe it. And I know that if you've experienced this, you know what I'm talking about. It's that feeling of like static electricity outside before a thunderstorm where you can just feel something in the air, something that's like about to happen, almost like a buzzing aura around both of you. And in fact, speaking of that kind of buzzing aura, as we said earlier, you may even feel the high of that energy after you part ways, where you feel like your physical body or your aura is actually literally buzzing in some kind of way. Now, what are we on? Sign number 12. You may actually be more in tune with yourself, your own appearance, your movements, your energy. I don't want to call this a self-consciousness, but it might almost feel that way. It's kind of difficult to explain, but you may find yourself feeling more self-aware, like it's almost like you feel like you're in a fishbowl or like you're being analyzed or you're being watched. This is kind of like you sensing the mutual feeling here. It's you sensing this person's focus on you, even if they aren't necessarily communicating with you or even looking at you. You will feel as though their soul, their essence, their energy is focused heavily upon you. And this can cause you to feel unusually like self-conscious, but not necessarily in the negative connotation of that term, like literally just more conscious, more aware of yourself, of your appearance, of your movements, almost in a way that can make you feel awkward at certain moments because you're picking up on how much this other person's soul is kind of focused on you, which leads me to number 13, which is you will be able to sense deep in your soul that this is mutual, that this is reciprocated. You may catch micro expressions from this person, long stares that are quickly broken. You might kind of look at them and they look away suddenly. They might have nervous body language of their own, or there might be something synchronized about your body language, like where you both tend to be like moving in certain ways at around the same time, almost like you are, again, sort of like in sync with each other, which are all signs that their energy is just as activated as yours. But really, this knowing will go deeper than even those signs that you get or the impressions or expressions from this person, because somewhere deep in your heart and in your soul, you will know that they are feeling this too. Even if they don't approach you, even if they don't say anything, there is a sense like, are we going to talk about the elephant in the room that we are both sensing? And again, most likely, this will be confirmed to you later on. Not always, but very often after you do meet this person or connect with them, if you have a conversation about this eventually, they may say to you, like, I was noticing you or watching you, or I felt this pull to talk to you, or I was hoping that you would talk to me, whatever it is. Like, they may drop you some indication after you meet that they were feeling this too. But of course, it's very normal in the process of this to find yourself questioning and wondering, is this person feeling it too? Am I the only one feeling this? And that can kind of easily in these situations lead you into kind of a spiral of like self-doubt and uncertainty. And so if there's one thing I want to leave you with in this podcast video, it's that you can trust yourself. You can trust your inner knowing. If you are someone who's typically very spiritually attuned and all of a sudden there is a person in your life that you feel very drawn to without knowing why, there is most likely something spiritual happening there beneath the surface. And I hope that if nothing else, this provides you a little bit of comfort in knowing that you are not going crazy. You can trust yourself. You can trust how psychic you are, how intuitive you are. And I really hope that regardless of where things go with a person that you may be connecting with, because of course, the complicating thing about a soul tie is it's two-sided. So just because there is that soul tie or that shared purpose together on a higher self level doesn't necessarily mean the other person is ready to take action on it or to enact their side of the soul contract, so to speak. And that would really be a whole separate video. So surrender is so important. Allowing things to unfold naturally is so important, but also, of course, acknowledging that you can trust these feelings and instincts that you are sensing and that you are having. So I hope this video has done that for you. I hope it's been comforting. I hope it's been some kind of confirmation for you. If so, I would love to hear from you in the comments. If you would like to manifest interaction or communication with a specific person in your life, I really recommend my Break No Contact Subliminal meditation. I have never received so much positive feedback from a subliminal I've created. Every day, I'm getting comments under these YouTube videos from people saying that they've been using this and having people from their past reach out suddenly and unexpectedly, people they've been wanting to hear from for a long time. Just the other day, I got a comment from one of you saying that you listened to this overnight for 3 hours, and the next day, someone you'd been waiting to hear from reached out to you after having you blocked for 2 years. I had someone else commenting saying that their twin flame reached out to them within 48 hours of listening. Personally, when I was creating this subliminal, just getting ready to put it into my app, I actually incidentally had 3 different people reach out from my past that I wasn't expecting to hear from. So it can be really powerful for shifting the energy between you and another person in the quantum realm to manifest that contact and that interaction. And you can try it out completely free for yourself by creating a free trial account in my app, Sound and Soulful. And the link to download the app is in the pinned comment and description box underneath this video. You can also, of course, subscribe if you'd like to connect in with our beautiful community of like-minded, conscious, creative beings here on YouTube. You can follow me on Instagram at Magnetize Yourself, and you can check out my channeled songs under my artist name, Songs by 𝗏𝗏𝗏. My latest song, The Light in Your Room, is linked in the description box of this video as well. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I am wishing you a beautiful remainder of your day, and I will connect with you here again in the next video.